Well, looks like old Joey is taking a page out of Hillary Clinton's book, his bestie, and hiding classified information in unsecure locations. What a surprise. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Nico from the Nicolas Bowling Show, realnsc.com. So there's a lot of misinformation going around about the whole classified, declassified, insecure locations, etc. about Joe Biden, the recent stuff that just came out, and also, of course, Donald Trump from months past. So I wanted to do a video on the topic of the classified information for Trump and also Biden, because it's all over the place and there's so much misinformation about it, and I want to clear some things up. So in this video, I'm going to be covering three things. Number one, can a vice president declassify information? That is where all of the confusion is coming in. Two, why they are doing this to Biden kind of out of nowhere. And finally, number three, what will come of all of this malarkey? So you hear a lot of people on the news and mainly blue check wannabe journalists out there on Twitter saying that U.S. Code 2701 of the statute is why President Biden's going to be removed from office and also thrown in jail. And that is, of course, not the case. I'm going to read the whole statute here, not just bits and pieces of it. U.S. Code 2071A. Whoever willfully and unlawfully conceals, removes, mutilates, which is a very interesting word there to be in the statute, obliterates or destroys or attempts to do so, or with intent to do so takes and carries away any record, proceeding, map, book, paper, document, or other thing filed or deposited with any clerk or officer of any court of the United States or in any public office or with any judicial or public officer of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. And of course it goes on, whoever having the custody of any such record, proceeding, map, book, document, paper, or other thing willfully and unlawfully conceals, removes, mutilates, obliterates, falsifies, or destroys the same shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both, and shall forfeit his office and be disqualified from holding any office under the United States. And used in this subsection, the term office does not include the office held by any person as a retired officer or armed forces of the United States. And keep in mind, anything I'm referencing here will be down in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. So what does this mean for old Joey? Well, according to Professor Michael T. Morley, professor at Florida State University College of Law, it doesn't really mean much of anything. The professor had this to say in an interview with Newsweek, quote, even if a president were convicted in court of violating Section 2071, a court is very unlikely to unilaterally order a sitting president to vacate his office, Morley said. Rather, under the political question doctrine, the court is likely to conclude that the Senate is the only body capable of removing a sitting president. Thus, a judicial conviction for violating a federal statute is neither a necessary nor sufficient condition of removing a sitting president. So in other words, in layman's terms, he's absolutely able to declassify documents as the VP. And all of this comes into play thanks to President Obama signing an executive order in 2009 under Executive Order 13526, which clarifies this exact issue. Quote, the authority to classify information originally may be exercised only by the president and vice president, as well as agency heads and officials designated by the president. So that last part is key. That specifically names the VP as able to declassify materials that he or she's office, aka the White House, has classified. But here's the real problem here for Joe Biden. It's not that he had classified / declassified information, it's where he stored them. He stored them in his garage next to his infamous Corvette in that political ad. Biden has not came out and stated that he declassified these documents as Trump has. Trump has came out and said these were declassified by me before I left office. Biden has not done that. So again, the VP or president is able to have classified information that he deemed declassified either in office or leaving office. But the real issue is he wasn't storing them properly. They have to be stored in something called SCIF, which stands for Sensitive Compartmentalized Information Facilities. And of course, his garage is not that. Like I mentioned before, there's so much fake news and misinformation going on about this. Even conservatives, they don't get a pass. Even though I'm a conservative, they don't get a pass. Benny Johnson, a very famous conservative political commentator, did a video saying, "Oh, is Joe Biden going to prison?" No, of course not. So Joe Biden cannot be removed from office using the statute that I mentioned prior that a lot of people online are saying can be used to remove him from office. That is not the case. The only way that a sitting president, can be removed from office is through impeachment through Congress, the House of Representatives, and then of course the Senate rules on it and makes it official. Now, of course, the Congress could use that statute as reasoning to remove him, because of course the Congress can remove a president for any matter they see fit. Literally anything they can remove him for, as long as there is a majority vote. Now, as of right now, the House is controlled by the GOP, so of course we know this isn't going to happen. Even if the GOP had a spine, which they don't, majority of them do not, they won't even mention this or put up impeachment articles, except for maybe, Marjorie Taylor Greene or a couple of other people, but majority GOP is not going to vote to have him removed, although he really should be, not for this, but because he has dementia. But not only that, but if it goes to the Senate, which is controlled by the Democrats, it is going to fail miserably. So saying Joe Biden is going to be removed from office or even having that discussion, honestly, is a waste of time. Now, the other side of this is, of course, the court of public opinion. And that is exactly why they're doing this to Biden and also Trump. Now, they originally did this a few months back to Trump when they raided and stormed Mar-a-Lago, simply because, of course, they have tried everything to damage this man's reputation. Sexual harassment allegations, collusion with Russia, abuse of power, and on and on and on. And of course, at the end of the day, they all failed. And just a visual alone of the FBI, a bunch of SWAT team members raiding Mar-a-Lago shining with red and blue flashing lights from police vehicles, is worth the price of nothing actually happening to him. And when it happened, of course, 24/7 news, the mainstream media kept playing that video, the clip of all the SWAT team going into Mar-a-Lago over and over and over. And you can bet your ass in the coming election of 2024, those clips are going to be played non-stop in political ads. Just because something legally will not happen to Trump because of the declassified information he had illegally, the Democrats and the elites don't care. It's just about the visual of people who watch CNN and MSNBC around the clock. They don't do actual research. They see red and blue lights, people storming Mar-a-Lago, them saying he could go to prison. Automatically in their heads, Trump is a criminal, he broke the law, and he is a bad man. It doesn't matter about any facts beyond that. They're doing it for the visual, and that is very, very obvious. And finally, for the big enchilada, as my Uncle Alex Jones always says,
I want to tell you guys the big enchilada. Are you ready?
they're doing this for two reasons. It's very simple. One, to paint that the DOJ is unbiased. When this happened to Trump, however long ago, several months ago, you had everybody and their mama from the right saying they would never do this to Biden. They would never do this to Obama. Look what happened with Hillary. And of course, now that they've done it to Biden, they can now say, see, we're not biased. We did it to Biden too, not just Trump. And of course, number two is to damage Joe Biden's reputation so he cannot run again in 2024. There's rumors going around that Biden is going to be running again in 2024. And of course, the Democrats do not want that. They instantly regretted putting Biden in office because we all know Biden is nothing more than a puppet for the elite, Obama, Hillary, and all these other individuals on the left. And we all could have told you the man has dementia, okay? You can't control somebody with dementia. It's very sad, I get it, but at the end of the day, the man has no cognitive ability to remember things that people tell him. Joe, this is what you're gonna do. Go out there and say this. How many times have we seen him go out there with a teleprompter and not be able to read the teleprompter of what they're saying?
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, he will read.
Arnold Q1.
To fund Social Security and eliminate Obamacare in the middle of a pandemic. End of quote.
What in the name?
This guy even has earpieces in, being fed things to say, and he can't even do that. So there's no way for the left and the elite to control him because his cognitive ability is so bad. That's why they don't want him anymore. We all told you that from day one. This man is not all there. He has dementia. He can't even string sentences together. Why in the hell would you think that you could control him as a puppet in the White House? It makes no sense. And it shows how stupid these people really are. So at the end of the day, if Hillary Clinton can have all these 33,000 emails on an unsecure server in a basement somewhere for everybody and their mama to look at, and then have the head of the FBI come out and say, these are all the charges in crimes that she broke, and then follow up by saying, we're not going to press any charges, though. Do you really think that anything coming of this Biden and Trump classified, declassified crap is going to amount to anything? No, of course not. Because this is yet another, as usual, nothing burger.